All right, so we figured out what was the problem going on with the hub, and let me show what that is. Is that we were figuring out that the hub is instantiated every time that there is a context, whenever there's a connection. So what we were doing before is here, when I was subscribing my ping poll, every single time that I made any sort of interaction with the hub, it was subscribing my ping poll event. So to correct this, I've made ping poll a static, and you can see private static ping poll, and the currency poll is a static. And so that way I'm only subscribing it one time. And since I'm injecting the context into itself, I'm able to use it on the events. This works. Now I wanted to check one thing, which was if I look at my, I want to do SignalR broadcast tutorial, because they are doing the same thing in their project here, only it's a little funny. They're implementing a singleton pattern. They have, for example, a stock class, which just is a POCO model with some other stuff. And then they have this stock ticker hub, which has no constructor so that it can input an instance to itself. This is them doing their own singleton where they're returning stocks. And then they have this lazy instance, which they're pointing to the connection manager and getting the hub. That's fascinating. Now it's different in Core, but what they're doing here is that they're going back to dependency injection and they're asking back for the context and then injecting it here for this lazy stock ticker. So if there hasn't been an instance already been assigned, then it gets one assigned here. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. So that way, if you don't ever have a stock ticker instance, then it never will be working, right? So as in my case, when Chat Hub is instantiated with anybody in it, then it gets subscribed for the length of the app, and then it persists until the app is terminated. So which one of these is a better way to go about it? Let me go ahead and open up my source control. Come on. And in this, I want to say implementing and we're going to say that this is my singleton may be experimental, and we will commit, because what this is doing is it was creating a new stock ticker and pointing the hub context to my global connection manager. So if I look here, I don't believe I have something called globals dot. Yeah. So I would need to have these hubs injecting these polls. They would need to inject this here. Okay. But when I did that, it was not making this class a singleton. It was this one, which is okay. So I think it's okay the way I have it, because once I get a connection for the life of the app, it's always going to be ticking. And I think that that's fine, because otherwise the only difference between that and this lazy instance would be if it hasn't been called yet. So if it's been called once ever, then it's the same. All right, so this is the way we're going to implement it. So we're done with our currency poll, and we're done with our ping poll. And we can show that those are working correctly, but I'm positive that they are now. But let's give it a run. And then we will open this up in the front end here. And it looks like we're already good to go. So I'll just go ahead and start my app. When I log in, there we go. You can see a lot of stuff is working, which is nice. It's definitely connected here, which is good. And this is the queue coming in here. So we need to hook up our queue, but what I want to show is that my two services are working. So here on my ping request, I'll do a console.log, which will say pong. And then also I'll do one here on the receive application user currency, and this will be called currency event. And now I'll run it again, and I gotta log out and log back in. And now, when I look at this in the console, I see currency event. Here's my currency. It's only firing one time. There's a ping pong. So currently I think my ping pong is set to like 10 seconds or something really fast, so I need to fix that. But you can see it's only firing one time. So again, it was because things were static, and if I open this in another instance, it will be fine as well. We can get rid of this and this. And so the next thing that I want to do is on my back end, I need to implement a function which is called it's all my services. And we're going to implement a function on here which is called I hacked this thing up when I was trying to fix this. Public. Good thing I didn't delete anything because I can always just go back to how it was. And I know that that's right because these currency pools don't inject anymore. They should be fine. They should be able to grab that one instance of the service and then be good to go. So this public virtual asynchronous task, and it's going to be called DQ song. Next. DQ song asynchronous. What you need to pass in here is your room ID and your application user ID, right? And so what I want to do here is a var using var context equals new application database context. What I want to do here is I want to do a var queued songs is equal to my context dot songs queued dot where my s dot active s dot room ID is equal to room ID and s dot active and s dot and you need to make sure that your room in this case is with the right user. So we need to include my room. And then this is my room dot user ID is equal to my application user ID. And that's just to make sure that the correct user is accessing these queued songs. And we want to do order by descending S, which is my weighted value. And I want to do take 1. And I want to do first or default asynchronous. And this is just queued song next. And I want to say now, if my queued song next is equal to null, then I want to pull a song from the playlist. Otherwise, I want to do my context.songsQueue dot nope. Let me do my queued song next dot active equals false. And then I want to do my context dot entry of my queued song next dot state is modified. And then I want to do a, so that's essentially the same thing as removing it. And then I have a weighted value, which I don't care about because it's already set and done. We already got that one out. Now I need to do a context dot, nope, we've already removed it. So now I need to do if my await context.save changes asynchronous is greater than 0, then I should be able to do a return my, what is this returning? This should just be returning a song queued VM. This is DQ song asynchronous. And we're going to do a mapper.map to a song queued VM of my queued song next. Can I do more includes here? So I want to also include here my application user who requested it and the room that it was for and the song that it was for as well. We don't care about the transactions. Now this is going to bloat the database because I'm not ever deleting any records. So do I want to have a history where they're written after they're queued? I don't think I need it. I think the transaction should handle it. So if I look at what a transaction equates to in my entities called transaction, quantity changed, transaction type. So this is just when it's played. So when I look at this queued song, I want to have a bool on this called prop bool has been played, and then a prop date time, which is the played timestamp. So So, and then you're going to do a queued song next dot has been played equals true. The queued song next dot played timestamp equals datetime dot UTC now, and then you'll dequeue it and then return that one record. If you don't do that, we want to return nothing. Okay, we're going to move this to be up with the other song queued. And this, we need to pull a song from the playlist. So we also need to have a public virtual asynchronous task of an iPlaylist. Sorry, is it just called a song playlist? Song playlist? Just a second. And this is going to be read. Just a moment, please. Back with you. Apologies. So when I look at this service, I have things in here called read transaction. So I want this one called read song playlist next. And this needs to be done for a GUID application user ID. And that's it. So this is a new var, using var context equals new context. Sorry, it's called a application DB context. Then I'm going to do a var playlists are equals to my context.playlists dot where my s dot application user ID is equal to application user ID, and where it's active, I want to include the songs playlists and now I want to do a select and you want to do the s dot is selected and is active. Then we want to include the songs playlists. We want to include the songs playlists as our selected one. Just a second. This needs to be a to list asynchronous, and I just want to see what this returns because I think it's going to be a list of a list, which we don't want. So I'll just do this. where I'm selecting all of the songs playlists here, and then I want to do an order by. No, we could just do that. Okay. And then what I can do is this will only be one. It should only be one playlist. Now I want to say if my playlist is not equal to null, and what I want to order by, then I want to do a playlist dot songs playlists dot order by the play count. So I want it to go from lowest to highest. And I want to get the first one. And this is going to be the selected song. And then if my selected song is not equal to null, then we're going to return this as a view model, I think, right? That's a song playlist VM. So we do a return mapper.map from my selected song to a song playlist VM. However, we need to do a selected song dot play count plus plus, and then I need to do a if my await context dot save changes asynchronous is greater than 0, and I need to do a context dot entry of my selected song here. Dot state is equal to modified. Then here I want to do a return my mapper like that. And otherwise, all the way down here, I just want to return null. That looks good. So we have this one, which we added. And then we have this one. So in the interface for this class, I can add those here at the bottom. Like that. So this needs to be called DB. No, we'll just call it that. That's fine. Okay. So we're good to go. It says this doesn't implement read application user room good. what it does. Okay. So now that I have that DQ, I need to have it in my hub. So at the moment, our chat hub has a lot of stuff in it. We have a message for the chat. We have application user information. We have request rooms. We have request one room. We have request playlists. We have here request song next. And this one is going to be a try catch. And in this, I want to do a var song next equals await my service dot DQ song queued asynchronous from my room ID, which is string for my room ID. We also need to do a var user ID equals await get user ID asynchronous. This is a good. And now I want to say if my song next is not equal to null, then I want to return to my clients.caller my send asynchronous send receive song next. And I'm going to pass in my song next. So here on my hub, when I do a this.hub connection .on, hey, Thriven, what's going on? It's all a lie. Rob is really 3 small aliens in human skin, posing as a Twitch streamer. How's it going, buddy? It's been a bit. Imendry says, LOL. Yay, you want to play a game? I'm working from home today and Sentry decides to have a West Coast outage. That sucks. Well, you can at least play this game with me. Okay. So on this method, receive song next, I'm going to invoke my next song queued, which is an I song queued. And in this, I want to do a new song queued received. Ooh. We want to have one which is song next received. Subject of a I song queued. Okay, so this is kind of wacky because it could be one of 2 different things. It could just be a song, or it could be this ID. Okay, we all gotta agree on votes. I will change it so that it doesn't have to be so direct with that. When I look at my song playlist and my song queued, this is going to be one of the two. So I want to say I have something here called an interface iSong base, iSong request base, just this. And in this I want to have an ID and a song. And this needs to inherit from iSong request. How do I do this? TypeScript, interface, inherit. Thank you. Extends. I appreciate that. Okay, so now I also want to do that here. And now I can use iSong request and here. Damn those subjects. They're not so bad. To be honest, it's the nicest part of JavaScript of Angular for me. Just a second, please. Alright, apologies about that. I have to stop the game, and I'm really sorry about that. We will have to continue when we get back. Because I need to take a short break. I apologize, but it's only going to be a really short break. So let me do this. And let's say that I will be back here in, say, 6 minutes, because this should be really quick. I apologize. I just have a real life thing to deal with. So thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in 6 minutes. Enjoy the break music.